Hey y'all, hey. So I wanted to come on here and do a quick video on why I decided to move to Mexico. So anyway, y'all know I'm not working anymore and I'm disabled, fully disabled, have been since I spent 2 years in the hospital in 2013. I wanted to live a carefree life of not being able to stress myself out over the cost of living in the US. You know, me and my one of my good friends, who's like a sister to me, she and I visit beginning year of 2023. We visited Mexico. And I had been talking about moving to Mexico because I had watched plenty YouTube videos on how that would be and how it is life in Mexico. So anyway, we took a 1 month vacation and it was great. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I have been to Africa a few times. I have been to London. I have been to Europe. I have traveled to different places. My best vacation was Mexico. I was like, I'm moving here. Join a couple of expat groups, black expat groups, Black Merida and Brothers and Sisters of Merida. I was loaded with tons of information. I checked out tons of doctors and hospitals because of my lupus, and I had to make sure that I had care here and I could afford care here because I have insurance in the US. Here, I don't have insurance. I had to cross my T's and dot my I's on my move because I wanted to live a carefree life without being dependent on anybody. And I have 3 grown children. All of my children are married. All of them are doing very well. And at one point, I moved in with my daughter in Atlanta to more of help out with the children. But once I got to a point where I wanted to move out on my own, then I couldn't find anything. Like literally, I could not find anything that I can afford. I'm not going to say how much my disability is, but I get good disability. Almost 2K. Not there yet. Will be in a few years. Almost 2K. But with that 2K, I could not find a place that I wanted to live, that I could afford, unless I moved back to my hometown in Alabama. I don't have a desire to live in my hometown again. Can I go visit? Yes. But I don't have a desire to live there. I can go get there and, actually, when I start looking at rentals there, they was like $12.95. Yeah, I could do that, but it was not what I wanted. Once I started looking at properties in Mexico, and after I covered the health care and all that, and I started looking at properties and I saw what I could afford to pay, I was like, oh yes, I'm doing that. So I looked at this one guy, Cortez. I looked at him and him taking people around to look at different properties. And I was like, I'm gonna go for it. So the first property that I actually got and rented was a complete failure. I messed up because I didn't listen to the expats where they said do not rent unless you look at something. I ended up renting this property without seeing it. You can get there, it was beautiful. When you get there, it was beautiful. But nothing worked. It was a disaster. The landlord was horrible. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. And I was right on the beach where I wanted to be. So I decided to come to Merida. Merida. Merida is one of the safest places to live in the entire world, in the top 30s. Once I came here when I was living on the beach. I came to Merida, which is about 30-minute Uber ride, and I got a hotel and I stayed for about 5 days in a hotel, and I had a wonderful time. I met Black expats, Canadians, more Mexicans that speak English. And I was like, I think I want to move here because really Merida reminds me of living in Atlanta. Merida is a big place, probably 2 million people. It's huge here. But it reminded me of living in Atlanta. We have IHOP, Texas Longhorn Steakhouse. We have TGI Fridays. Yeah, we have all that. And I started looking for a place. And my first place I chose was great. But I settled for that place because I wanted a pool. So I let the landlord tell me, oh, it's a pool across the street at the park that you can go to and it's free. Y'all, that water was that deep. So that wasn't for me, though I love the landlords, but it wasn't for me. So I stayed for about 6 months, went back to the US. My children had me a gorgeous 50th birthday party. I was there for 2 months. I have a friend, and he started looking at properties for me. And one property in particular, which is the one I am in now, it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhouse with this magnificent pool. And I got this place. And rent is 15,000 pesos, which is 845 US dollars a month. Now, where in the US where I wanted to live can you afford a place with a pool like that? I absolutely love it. I love Mexico. This is my new home, and that's why I decided to make a move.